what we saw very quickly is that it's not done with we book or buy some tools and tell the people just use the tools. That's not it. So we started with training some, let's say, AI champions who had that intrinsic motivation. We started to do workshops with our teams. We started to do workshops with our clients, because our idea always was, if we talk about Gen AI outside the agency with our clients, I don't know, perhaps it's a little bit unfair, but it increases the pressure on the agencies, because if our clients think we know everything about AI, then they ask us, and then we have to know. So we produced our own pressure by including our clients from the first day. So, but what then developed over the time, and perhaps you can fade in the slide that I'm sharing, is a kind of organization. We said we need organization implementation on different levels. First of all, we said it has to be a top management thing. So I said that's my project. I want to transform the agency for that future. So I'm kind of a CAIO, which is a name that I read more often now. So I'm a driver on the C level. And then we said we need a kind of core team with people who have that intrinsic motivation to drive AI in the agency, and who have that deep knowledge, who are steering the transformation, who care about legal frameworks and all those things. So kind of driving part of the organization, ensuring governance and so on. And then we have three different things on the lower level. First of all, we have some AI champions, people who understand tech, understand the usage of the tools from the different departments. Some are a little bit more focused on, let's say, content production or picture production or film production. So because they all have their domain expertise that they have to combine with AI. And these are the people who have to motivate their teams to support the transformation in their teams. And then we defined use case teams. So let's say we have a project management team, and we defined a team in that project management department that was based on the ideas we had in our core team. And they had the task to identify use cases. So what are the use cases where AI can help us to leverage our services, to get more speed in the processes, to offer our clients a better time to market and so on. And that's the process we're in. So those teams are still identifying more and more use cases. And then the core team helps to implement those use cases, or to book the tools that we need, or configure the agents, or whatever we have to do to implement the use cases. And in that process, we also identified many tools that we don't need in the whole agency. So let's take, for example, 11 Labs, where we do internationalization of films or audio elements. That's a tool we only need once in the agency or twice. So, and for those tools, we have tool experts, people who are really experts in those tools and processes, and they also offer their services with that tools inside the agency. So if somebody for his client or her client needs, let's say, an audio file, Beaker audio file, then he knows there's a tool expert in the agency who can do that for me with AI. So that's the basic part of the organization. And then we did some more things over the time that we developed in the last 2.5 years. I think the first thing was very important to develop a kind of narrative. Why do we use AI? Why do we put so much pressure and speed into it? So what's the why? I think that was very important that we had that narrative towards the people. And it's not about setting people off. It's about being able to offer better services to our client, increase time to market for our client. So it was always the narrative to have better services in that high competitive market we're in. Then we try to implement a kind of AI culture. So in every meeting, we ask ourselves our question, what can we do with AI in that process? So that's kind of our DNA now. We did internal trainings. We booked an external offer. It's called Decade Academy. It's kind of AI training service with online trainings that is offered in Germany. They have now, by the way, an English version too since some weeks. We developed AI guidelines, so to tell the people what they are allowed to do, what not, because in some cases it's not allowed to use AI because of sensitive data or something like that. And we integrated it in our HR processes, which what is very interesting. So we have a kind of HR culture. We talk to every employee once a month. So we call it monthly and the quarterly and the yearly talk with every employee. and there's a kind of guidance what questions do we discuss with the employees every month, and we integrated that in every guide. So in our monthly talk, there's an AI question, there's an AI question in the quarterly, and there's an AI question or AI questions in our growth process. We have chat groups internally where people talk about what they did with AI today, and so on. So these are we have really invested much time and thoughts on how we can implement it on an organizational and process level.
And I think what's also good is to first of all start, or to also start with things people don't like to do, showing them how easy they can solve those tasks with AI, because there are a lot of tasks you don't want to do every day, and I think that's a great way to get the people on AI as well.